Hello guys and welcome. My name is Ihoma Judith and today I'll be showing you guys how I made this beautiful A-line skirt. If this is something you're interested in, please keep watching. Firstly, we are going to draw a straight line on our pattern paper. This is going to serve as our waistline. Then from our waistline, you're going to measure to your hip. Here mine is 9 inches, so I measured from my waistline to my hip 9 inches and I drew a straight line. So from my waistline, I'm going to mark my full length, and here I'm working with 23 inches plus 1 inches for folding allowance. So I went ahead and marked 24 inches and I drew a straight line. After I was done with my vertical measurement, I went ahead and labeled it my waist, my hip, and my full length. So the next thing we are going to do is to go to our waistline. Our waist round, we are going to be dividing it by 4. So here I'm working with 30 inches. 30 inches divided by 4 is 7.5 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Then I marked. Next is the hip. The hip I'm working with is 42 inches. So I divided 42 inches by 4 and I got 10.5 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance and I marked it. So in total, I marked 12.5 inches at the hip and I also marked 12.5 inches at the full length. And I went ahead and connect the dots with my marker like so. After I was done connecting, I went in by 4 inches. So from the waistline down to my full length, I'm going to be marking 4 inches down. So if you are the larger size, you can go in by 5 inches. And with my ruler, I went ahead and connect the dots from my hip to the full length. But you can extend yours from the waist to the full length. And I went ahead and cut off the pattern that I'll be making use of. After I was done, I went with my scissors and split open that line that I have drew earlier. This opening is going to help to create that A-line effect that we want. So the next thing I'm going to do is from my waistline, I went down by half an inch. Then I went ahead and connect it upwards like so. This is going to be the difference between the front and the back. So the half inches that is sloping down is going to be the front. So I went ahead again and extended that line that we created. So your flare is going to start from anywhere your opening is starting from. So because I want my flare to start from the hip, I went ahead and closed back that line that I have opened before with my sellotape, leaving my hip to my full length open like so. So the next thing I'm going to do is to bring the fabric that I'll be making use of. Here I am making use of a silk fabric. So from one end of the fabric that I'm holding like so, I'm going to fold over diagonally like so to create this triangular effect like so. So you're going to turn it over. It's going to give you this triangular shape like this. So after I was done folding my fabric like so, I'm going to go ahead and place my pattern paper on the fabric. The center front of the fabric is going to be facing the folded side, while that hip edge, that side that our hip is facing, is going to be on the open side. Then after I've placed my pattern paper properly, I'm going to go ahead and pin it down. So I advise you pin down your pattern paper to your fabric if you're using a light material like I'm using here, to avoid it from moving around or scattering. So after I was done pinning down, if you notice, I left that other side of the pattern paper because I'm going to use that to regulate how wide I want my flare to be. So here I am going to be making use of 4 inches wideness. So you can make your own flare as wide as you want. So mine is 4 inches and I went ahead and pinned it down. So if you notice, there's a fold at the hip side. That's caused by that opening that we made to create our flare. So it's no issue. All you need to do is to just balance that fold where and pin it down like I'm doing so. So after I was done pinning it down, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my chalk to just connect the pattern paper to the other side of the pattern paper like so. And after I was done, I'm going to go ahead and cut off my fabric like so. So after I am done cutting off the fabric, I'm going to get one piece of my skirt like so. So this is going to serve as one piece of my skirt. And with my fabric again, I'm going to go ahead and fold over diagonally like this. So balance it up. Then I'm going to place that my pattern paper again on the fabric. So like we did, the center front is going to be on the folded side, while the part that is open is going to be on the side that is going to be on the hip side. And with my scissors, I went ahead and cut it off like so. So like I told you earlier before, the difference between the front and back is going to be by that 1/2 inches that we went in at the waistline. So I'm going to take out one piece of the fabric and I'm going to cut off that 1/2 inch that we went in on the front, on the waistline. So that is going to serve as our front piece, and the part that we did not cut off is going to serve as our back piece. So I went ahead and removed my pattern paper, and because the difference is not so visible, I went with my chalk and I labeled that part that I cut off as my front and the part that I left as my back. So the next thing I went ahead to do is to bring a small piece of my fabric, and I'm going to be using it for my bias for turning my fabric. And I went ahead and cut off the length that I'll be working with. So for the front piece and the back piece, I went ahead and cut my fabric into two like so. So this will be my bias. You can use any length you want. Here I used 2 inches width for it. Next thing I went ahead to do was I took one piece of the material I'll be using for my bias, and right side facing the right side, I went ahead and placed it on the waistline and I pinned it down, and I'm going to sew by 1/2 inch, then turn over. So I'll repeat the same process for the other part. I'm going to ahead and pin down the bias on the waistline of the skirt, and after I was done pinning it down, I'm going to go ahead and sew by 1/2 inch and turn over. So here on my sewing machine, I am sewing by 1/2 inch. Remember, right side facing the right side, you're going to sew and turn over. So if you have gotten to this part of this video, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you're a subscriber, thank you very much and God bless you. So now that I'm done sewing, I'm going to go ahead and cut off my excess thread. So after I was done sewing, you're going to open up your fabric like so, and you're going to iron it and fold over. So you're going to repeat the same process for this other side of the skirt. You open it up like so, iron it and turn it over like so. So after I was done ironing, I went ahead and placed the front and the back piece together like so, right side facing the right side. Now I'm done. I'm going to measure the full length of the waist. Then I'm going to minus it by my actual waist measurement, and whatever I get, I'm going to divide it by 2 and I'm going to place it on both sides. Or if you remember earlier when we were drafting our pattern, we gave 2 inches for sewing allowance, so you can go ahead and place 2 inches on both sides of the fabric. And with our ruler, we are going to create this slanted shape to give this flare effect like so. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick any side of my skirt and I'm going to measure where I'll be placing my zip. So I'll be placing my zip on my right side. So I created where my sewing is going to start from. So I went ahead and sewed straight down on both sides. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and fixed my zip. I used an invisible zip. You can use any zip of your choice. So the next thing we are going to do is to just fold down the mouth. So you can either weave or you fold it the way I'm folding it. So the trick here is you fold it in by 1/2 inch, then you fold it again. This is to help hide the rough edges, and you're going to sew all round. So as you can see, I folded it in by 1/2 inch and folded it in again, and I'm going to sew. So I'm going to repeat the process till I am done. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and folded the mouth all around like so, and I'm going to turn over to show you that the material that we used for our bias, I went ahead and hem it together with the main fabric. After I was done, I went ahead and ironed my skirt, and this is it. After ironing, our A-line skirt is ready. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.